Swimming, in both recreation and sports, is the propulsion of the body through water by using combined arm and leg motions together with the natural flotation of the body. People often swim in sea, lakes, swimming pools, and others. There are several types of swimming, and these are known as strokes. It includes front crawl, breaststroke, butterfly, and backstroke. If you haven't tried doing this activity yet, it is probably best if you are not alone. And now, here are some 5 swimming tips for beginners. The first one is do your gliding as your warm-up. Start your session by gliding for a few minutes. This gets the blood flowing and your body gets used to being in the water. The second is always practice your breathing. Try getting some breathing practices after gliding, since breathing is the key to a successful stroke. The third one is always wear a swimming cap. Regular use of a heavily chlorinated pool can affect your scalp and on occasions can make it flake. The fourth one is always wear a lined swim top. Wearing it can significantly increase your enjoyment of your swimming. And the last and the fifth one is always demist your goggles. Goggles are an essential part of swimming correctly, and they can mess up if they are not looked after. The next one is kayaking. Kayaking is a water sport that involves the paddling of a double-bladed oar in a small boat known as a kayak. These boats come in a variety of sizes and types depending on their intended use. However, most kayaks features an enclosed deck that covers the leg. Kayaking is a versatile sport that can be done in practically any bodies of water. It can be easily paired for other activities such as fishing or camping. However, different kayaks are designed to handle specific conditions. Some are made for whitewater courses, and others are made for racing. Rivers, lakes, oceans, and even surf zones are like the most popular spots for kayaking. The next is wakeboarding. Wakeboarding is the combination of water skiing, snowboarding, and surfing. The wakeboarder or the rider is usually towed by a boat. They can also be on the edge of the board so they can move from side to side. The boards used in a wakeboarded are usually made of foam, honeycomb, and a coated fiberglass. Wakeboarding is usually done in lakes, but some can do it in the beach. And here are some health benefits of wakeboarding. The first one is it strengthens your arm and leg muscles. Wakeboarding's physical demand are placed on these key areas. The second one is it improves your flexibility in both your hands and feet, since wakeboarding requires a nimble approach. The third one is it improves reaction time and versatility. This is because of the sudden changes of direction and position that is required. The fourth one is it develops your hand-eye coordination, since the rider needs to stay balanced and focused. The fifth one is, of course, it improves your swimming ability. And the last one is improves your mental concentration, since it refreshes the mind from daily distractions.
Water recreational activity is surfing. Surfing is usually an act of riding a wave using a board, regardless of the stance. Surfing is a surface water sport which an individual or a surfer uses a board to ride the forward section of the movie wave water or alon ng dagat, which usually carries them towards the shore. Waves suitable for surfing are primarily found in oceans, but it can also occur in lakes and rivers in the form of standing wave or tyndall board. And for the essential equipment for surfing are surfboard, fins, leash, surf wax, surf earplugs, rash guard, and surfboard bag. And for the tips for beginners are get a soft top surfboard, surf somewhere with few people around, practice your pop-up, shuffle your feet, find the sweet spot when paddling, stay perpendicular to the whitewash, take that extra paddle, Bend the knee, not your back, fall flat, and most importantly, have fun. For our next water recreational activity is snorkeling. Snorkeling came from the word snorkel, a J-shaped breathing tube. Snorkeling defines as swimming underwater or just near the surface with a full face, snorkel mask or diving mask. Snorkeling is a form of swimming while using the tube to breathe underwater. Snorkeling is a very popular activity, particularly in places with clear, cool, and calm oceans. It allows people to see underwater life in a natural setting without complicated equipments and training like in scuba diving. The equipment needed for snorkeling are diving mask, swim fins, wetsuit, flotation device, snorkel keeper, and snorkel. And for the tips for beginners are find the perfect fit for your mask, defog your mask with baby shampoo or defogging gel, get the excess water out of your mask if needed, preserve energy with full foot fins, take deep focused breath to keep yourself relaxed. The term water aerobic refers to an aerobic exercise that is performed in reasonably shallow waters. For example, in a swimming pool, this type of exercise is done when a person is standing right up, and the person doing this type of aerobic will not swim. Water aerobic has many cardiovascular benefits as well as strength training benefits with such lower impact on your body. The low impact workouts makes water aerobic perfect for people of all ages and fitness levels. Most water aerobic classes takes place in a group fitness class setting. There will be a trained professional trainer or a group fitness instructor who teaches the class for approximately an hour and often set the music to keep you motivated, just like in Zumba. Each water aerobic classes include warm-up, cardio, and strength training exercises and cool down. The expected exercises are water, walking, biceps curl, leg lift, and kickboard moves. The buoyancy of the water is easy on your joint. That makes the water aerobic is a good choice if you have a joint problem, chronic pain, or recovering for an injury. It is also popular for seniors and pregnant women. And for the example of full body workout for water aerobics are 1. Walk in waters, 2. Water lift, 3. Lateral arm lift, 4. Back glide. And for the next topic, I will be discussing free diving. Free diving or breath hold diving is a form of underwater diving that relies on you holding your breath until you resurface, rather than the use of breathing apparatus such as scuba gear. With free diving, you can only travel as far as the air in your lungs will take you. The incredible feeling of pushing yourself to your limits helps explain the appeal of this sport. Therefore, the most important part in your training is to learn how to breathe properly. And for the equipment needed for free diving are mask, snorkel, fins, free diving certificate, and for the tips for beginners are never dive alone, learn about your environment and protect it, relax, visualize, and learn as much as you can from everyone, and the most important part is to have fun.
Scuba diving is the short term for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. It is a form of underwater diving where the diver uses a breathing apparatus in order to breathe below the water's surface. Divers usually carry oxygen-filled tanks in their back while they are swimming. Scuba diving is an activity that reveals some of the mystery that surrounds the world's oceans as you go deeper into the underwater's world. This Water activity is mainly done for the attraction of the unattainable undersea world. Scuba diving is incredibly getting popular, so it is a must that you go dive from touristic places. But always be sure that you will not harm any animals or corals in the sea.
Swimming etiquettes. These are the rules and behavior you must perform in swimming. For the swimming attire, we cannot just wear any simple clothes because there is an appropriate swimwear that we must follow. Also, any kinds of jewelries or accessories are prohibited in swimming. These are the proper swimming attire for girls. Here are the proper swimming attire for girls. You can see na ang proper swimming attire ay swimsuit, rash guard, and spandex shorts. These are made with lycra, spandex, and nylon fabric. Kasi mas madali siyang mag-go-on sa water, unlike sa cotton na i-absorb niya yung water, mas magiging mabigat siya sa tubig. Wearing simple clothes like cotton and such can cause clogging to the filtration system of the pool. Also, it can hinder the effectiveness of the pool maintenance equipment. The approved proper swimming attire can reduce the transmission of both airborne and waterborne contaminants on kids. Those are also part of your swimming attire. Cap can serve as your hair protection from chemicals and bacteria. On the other hand, goggles allows you to open your eyes underwater.
Proper attire is a must in terms of swimming. Wearing appropriate clothing can help to reduce the water contamination tulad ng transmission of air and waterborne contaminants. So for the boys, proper attire is kadalasan sa kanila topless lang, pero nagsusuot sila ng mga swim briefs and swim shorts tulad ng swim jammers and mga board shorts. Pero sa pagtaas naman, gumagamit din yung iba ng mga rash guard. Example naman ng mga clothes that should not be worn in the pool is mga street clothes or cotton garments. Ito yung mga damit na are able to hold a lot of detergents, germs, and bacteria that can be easily released in the pool. So this will lead in spreading the disease among the swimmers and even affects the chemistry and the purity of the water. So yung iba din na mga dyed cotton clothes is nakakasama din sa filter system ng swimming pool kasi nakaka-block ito sa mga filters. And kadalasan din sa mga colored is kumukupas din sa mga pools na nakasisira din sa purity ng tubig ng swimming pool.
Warm-up exercises. Warm-up is important because swimming requires the use of large groups of muscles. Before warming up, syempre meron tayong stretching. What is the benefits of stretching? It relieves muscle tension and improves range of motion and flexibility. So, how do we perform stretching? You can perform stretching by doing each stretch for 10 to 15 seconds. Oh, here are some stretching activities you can perform. After stretching, you can now proceed to your warm-up routine. Here are some warm-up that you can perform and follow.
Taking shower. So why is it important to take a shower before you go to swim? Taking shower is significant before swimming for many reasons. First, the shower can help to adjust the human body's temperature. So sa pamamagitan nito, makakatulong to para ma-adapt natin yung temperatura ng tubig para kapag umumi na tayo sa actual na pool, hindi tayo mabibigla sa temperatura nito. And the most importantly sa part na to ng pag-take shower is nakakatulong din to to reduce the contamination in the water. So paano to nakakatulong? Taking a shower with the soap remove sweats, mga natitirang lotion, mga natitirang sunscreens, mga makeup, mga organic materials, and marami pang iba na nagkakontaminant sa tubig. And by this, nakakatulong din to to reduce spreading the disease among the swimmers. Getting comfortable in the water. Bakit nga ba importante maging komportable yung swimmer habang nasa tubig? Importante to dahil para hindi tayo matakot, kabahan, mangamba habang nasa tubig tayo. So, paano dapat yung movement natin o yung action habang nasa tubig? Siyempre, dapat katulad ng mga aquatic creatures, yung ating galaw ay dapat naka-horizontal din para hindi tayo na-stress, hindi tayo nag-aalala na kapag naka-vertical tayo kung abot mo pa ba, kung malalim na ba. So, katulad ng mga aquatic creatures, yung movement natin is dapat horizontal na lang din dahil dito mas nagiging comfortable tayo gumalaw kapag nasa tubig. And most importantly, to be comfortable in the water is to master the breathing skills ng bilang isang swimmer, yung paghinga. Yung pinakauna, yung pinaka mabibigay ko ditong example is the back float. Ito yung pang-beginner na magbibigay ng comfortable feeling sa'yo habang nasa tubig. Dahil dito makakahinga ka and lumulutang ka habang nasa tubig ka.
Before swimming, it is not recommended to eat large meals because this might cause gastric influx. But if it happens na kumain ka na ng large meals, wait for 2 to 3 hours bago ka mag-swimming. Ito yung time na dinadigest ng stomach mo yung kinain mo. And kung kumain ka naman ng small meals or snacks, you can wait for 30 minutes to 2 hours bago ka mag-swimming para ma-digest yung kinain mo. In addition to this, snacks and foods that are rich in carbohydrates and high glycemic index are suggested na kainin kapag magsiswimming ka. This can give you energy and mas madali siyang i-digest. Examples of this food are baked potatoes, ripe fruits, oatmeals, and bread. Here is the table for glycemic index. Here is the table for glycemic index. As you can see, the high GI foods are the ones that are 70 and above. Pag high GI foods, yun yung mga recommended kainin since mas mabilis silang i-digest. And the low GI foods are much harder to digest and mas mabigat sa tiyan. Avoid eating fatty, spicy, and rich in fiber foods such as carrots, apple, and pasta, for this might cause gastrointestinal distress. Also, refrain from drinking caffeine and alcohol before swimming.
Why doing cool down is important after swimming? It is important dahil kapag nag-intense swimming tayo, then biglang hinto, yung blood natin will pool in our lower body or in the venous system. Yung venous system is yung nagre-reverse sa network of veins that functions to deliver our blood back to our heart. This leads sa mga pagkahilo and mga cramps and yung may tinatawag yung mga swimmers na thin legs. Therefore, kaya recommended tong pagko-cool down after swimming is to prevent the buildup of blood sa veins natin, which is also called as the venous pooling. Here are some examples of cool down activities that you can perform. So, yun yung mga activities na examples ng cool down na pwede nyong gamitin after ng swimming. Doing cool down is really recommended talaga to prevent such injuries na mga nabanggit. What to eat after swimming? Swimming depletes our glycogen in our muscles. So, after swimming, nauubos yung glycogen natin sa katawan natin. So, what is glycogen? Glycogen is one of the sources of energy ng human body. Dito tayo kumukuha ng energy once na kailangan natin ng quick boost energy or once naman na hindi tayo nakakuha ng glucose from the food, dito tayo umaasa sa tinatawag ng glycogen. So, therefore, what we should eat is mga pagkain that are high in carbohydrates and protein. Dito muna tayo sa mga high in carbohydrates such as mixed fruit cereals, mga breads, rice, spaghetti, and potatoes. And for proteins naman is mga beef, mga fish, and mga pork. So with this, it will help our body to undergo the repair process for the muscles and tissues and the regeneration of our lost energy.
The do's and don'ts in swimming. First is warm-up. As said a while ago, masyadong maraming nire-require ng muscles and energy ang swimming. So, mahalaga na ma-stretch and ma-warm up natin ang every muscle natin sa body natin before tayo mag-dive sa swimming pool. This will help us prevent injuries and help us reach our maximum level of performance. Second is add variety to your swimming workouts. Pag paulit-ulit yung ginagawa nating workout sa araw-araw, this may become boring and mas mahihirapan tayo makita yung progress. So what you have to do is get out of your comfort zone and challenge your mind and body. Number 3 is focusing on your technique. Focusing on your technique is the best way to reach your potential. This can also improve your overall swimming efficiency, your speed, and your confidence underwater. Lastly is hydrate. It is important that we are hydrated before diving onto the pool and doing our sets of workout. This will help us fight fatigue and prolong our endurance. In addition to this will help us on our focusing skills and will boost our energy.
What are the things you should not commit swimming? I will give you some done in terms of swimming. First is don't run on the pool's neck kasi baka madulas ka or mas critical pa yung situation na mangyari sa'yo. Second is don't forget to stay hydrated. Nakakatulong to reduce the heat exhaustion or heat stroke habang nagsiswimming. And third is don't swim kapag madumi yung tubig ng swimming pool or unbalanced yung chemicals. This can lead to sickness for the swimmers. And the last one is follow the instructions or signs na nasa swimming pool. Kapag 3 feet and nakasulat that don't dive, huwag nyo na subukan mag-dive dahil baka ulo nyo yung mauna and yun yung pinaka mahirap na mangyayari. And huwag na rin subukan yung mga horse ride or chicken fight sa tubig kapag pinagbabawal ito ng namamahala.
Here are some tips that will keep you safe when you swim. First is know how to swim and know the water safety skills. Next is swim on the designated areas and swim with the supervision of adults and lifeguards. Avoid swimming alone. We really don't know what may happen on us. Follow all the safety signs and warning flags. Do not swim while drunk, so avoid alcohol use.
Explore in natural bodies of water, know the water and the weather conditions, and of course, wear your life jackets. And the last one is learn how to do first aid and CPR. And things like when someone is drowning, throw a flotation device to help people that is drowning. And in case of other emergencies, at least you know how to do CPR and first aid.
Floating. Floating is the first basic skill of a swimmer. It can easily move your body from vertical to horizontal position. Floating at your back is simply from a vertical standing position to float at your back. The water must be shallow enough or in a waist level to do this activity. There's a 3 type of floating at your back. First, back floating with arms extended. This is to lie back on the water with arms and legs are extended for balance. Next type is back floating in a T position. This floating skill brings your upper limbs and extended while your lower limbs are positioned straight, making your position into a letter T for your balance in water. Last type is back floating in a straight position. A advanced technique wherein your upper limbs are extended upwards and your lower limbs are straight in a longest position. This is to master your balance in water. Floating on your front is the same skill with back floating. Their difference is that you were floating facing the water. There are two skills used in this technique, floating and exhaling while your face is submerged through the water. There's a three type of floating on your front. First type is front floating in a extended arm. Next is front floating in a straight position. And last is front floating in a T position. It's the same technique as floating at your back. The only difference is floating with your face submerged into the water and enhanced skills of exhaling while your face is underwater or submerged into the water.
The second topic on basics of swimming is kicking. So let's start with the first one, which is the flutter kick. Flutter kick is one of the kicking method that is used in swimming and usually associated with freestyle stroke, wherein the legs of the swimmer is extended straight back and coordinated with the movement of the legs in up and down direction. So how is this method being done? First, lie down on your back and stretch out your legs in a 45-degree angle. Second is keep both of your legs straight and close to each other while your toes pointed. Next is move your both legs in alternating up and down direction. And lastly, continue the movement. So for the demonstration, since it is hard to do it without a pool, I took some short clip in the internet to further understand this method. Next is a dolphin kick. Dolphin kick is also one of the kicking method that is used in swimming and usually used in butterfly stroke, wherein both legs of the swimmers are close to each other with a coordination of up and down movement while the knees are bent. So this is called dolphin kick kasi nire-resemble niya po kung paano lumangoy yung mga dolphins. So how is this method being done? First, push your chest towards the water, then move it back. Second is thrust your hips towards the water, then release. And lastly, as you move your hips upwards, straighten your legs out. The last one is the frog kick. Yung frog kick is parang breaststroke. And to perform this kick, it requires the works on the lower body part of the swimmer. And also, ini-improve po nito yung lower thighs ng mga swimmer. This is called frog kick because it resembles the two hind legs of the frogs when they are in the water. How is this kick being done? First, pull your legs up towards your hips. Second, as you pull your legs up, spread outwards at the knees with the feet together and then straighten out with the legs apart. And lastly, pagsama-samahin ulit yung mga movement.